Dad adopted a puppy for his paralyzed daughter. What happened next stunned everyone. The soft rustle of fabric as Lila shifted on her couch seemed to fill the quiet room, a gentle reminder of the stillness that had enveloped her life since the accident. Once a girl bursting with laughter and energy, she now occupied the space of her home like a shadow, her bright spirit dulled by a world that felt distant and unreachable. Her fingers traced the seams of the blanket that covered her legs, the simple gesture a reminder of the life she used to lead. One filled with movement, spontaneity, and the joyous noise of childhood. Lila had always been a dreamer, her mind painting vivid pictures of adventures that seemed possible only in the pages of books or the frames of movies. She had a passion for the outdoors, an insatiable curiosity that drove her to explore every nook and cranny of her neighborhood. But those days felt like a lifetime ago, replaced now by an overwhelming sense of isolation that settled into the corners of her heart. The laughter of friends and the playful teasing of siblings were echoes, fading memories that left her feeling more alone than ever. It was during one of these quiet moments, as she watched the sunlight filter through the window, when the door swung open and in walked her father, Stephen. His entrance brought a shift in the air, an unexpected burst of energy that seemed to pour into the room. Lila looked up, her brow furrowing slightly as she noticed something unusual in his arms, a small, wiggly bundle of fur. As he approached her, the floppy-eared puppy squirmed excitedly, its tail wagging with an enthusiasm that was infectious. "Look what I found!" Stephen exclaimed, his voice a mixture of excitement and mischief. "Meet Milo." Lila's heart skipped a beat as she took in the sight of the tiny creature. Milo was a golden retriever, small enough to fit comfortably in her father's arms, but already exuding a personality that filled the room. His big, soulful eyes seemed to sparkle with an understanding that Lila craved, and for the first time in months, a flicker of joy ignited within her. The warmth of the puppy's presence began to weave its way into her heart, and the corners of her mouth curled into a tentative smile. As Stephen settled Milo onto Lila's lap, the puppy wiggled and squirmed, searching for a comfortable spot. His soft fur brushed against Lila's legs, sending a delightful shiver through her. She gently reached out, her fingers hesitatingly exploring the velvety coat, and Milo responded with an eager lick to her hand. Lila couldn't help but giggle, a sound that, after so long, felt foreign yet beautiful. The laughter echoed through the house, a sound so rare that it caught her father off guard. "See? He likes you already." Stephen grinned, a glimmer of hope shining in his eyes. "I thought he might be just what you needed." For the first time in months, Lila felt a connection, a spark that bridged the chasm of her isolation. Milo's presence began to fill the void that had enveloped her since the accident. She found herself talking to him, sharing whispered secrets and confiding her dreams. As days turned into weeks, their bond deepened. Lila began to find solace in the puppy's companionship. He was a constant source of joy, a furry beacon of hope that illuminated the darkest corners of her heart. But Milo was more than just a puppy. He was a little adventurer with an uncanny ability to sense Lila's emotions. He would nuzzle against her when she felt overwhelmed, his soft whimpers echoing her unspoken fears. Often, he would nudge her arms or legs with his wet nose, as if urging her to move, to awaken from the paralysis that had stolen her freedom. At first, Lila dismissed it as mere puppy antics, but there was something in his gaze, a knowing that made her pause. One morning, as sunlight streamed through the window, Lila found herself lost in thought, staring at the patterns of light dancing on the floor. She could hear Milo quietly playing with a chew toy, the rhythmic squeaks punctuating the silence. Suddenly, she felt a gentle nudge against her arm, followed by a series of enthusiastic barks that jolted her from her reverie. She turned to see Milo, his eyes wide and filled with an urgent intensity. It was as if he was trying to communicate something beyond the ordinary, something profound. Okay, I'm coming." Lila laughed, her heart fluttering at the puppy's energy. She took a deep breath, and with a hesitant determination, she focused on moving her fingers. The world around her faded as she concentrated, willing her hand to lift from her lap. It was a small movement, almost imperceptible, but in that moment, Lila felt a swell of pride that took her by surprise. Milo's tail wagged furiously, as if celebrating her small victory. Stephen, who had been watching from the doorway, felt his heart race. He had always believed in the healing power of love, but witnessing this interaction between his daughter and the puppy stirred something deeper within him. He saw the determination in Lila's eyes, the flicker of hope that had been absent for far too long. Lila's connection with Milo was beginning to transcend the boundaries of her physical limitations, igniting a spark of possibility that he had only dared to dream of. As the days turned into weeks, Lila began to discover the strength she thought she had lost forever. With Milo's unwavering support, she started to experiment with movement, her body responding in ways that had previously felt impossible. Each time she made progress, no matter how small, Milo was there, his joyful barks echoing her triumphs. The bond between them grew stronger, a connection that transcended the limitations of words. News of their unique companionship spread beyond the walls of their home. Friends and family, initially skeptical of the impact a puppy could have, soon witnessed the transformation unfolding before their eyes. Lila's laughter became more frequent, her spirit reigniting with a fervor that inspired everyone around her. The once quiet house was now filled with the sounds of joy and hope, Milo's playful antics breathing life into their everyday routines. It was clear that something extraordinary was happening. With every slight movement, every shared moment, Lila and Milo were crafting a story of resilience and love, one that would soon capture the hearts of many beyond their own home. A journey of healing was unfolding, one that would challenge the very fabric of what they thought was possible. And as Lila continued to explore her newfound strength, she could feel the world opening up to her in ways she had never imagined. Lila's transformation began to ripple through her family and friends, igniting discussions that had long been dormant. Each day became a testament to the healing power of companionship, and even the most skeptical among them could not deny the enchantment that Milo had woven into their lives. Her mother, Jessica, who had often tiptoed around Lila's fragile emotions, slowly began to adjust to the new dynamic. She found herself drawn to the vibrant energy that Milo brought into their home, watching with admiration as her daughter grew more animated and engaged. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm, golden hue across the living room, Jessica decided to join Lila and Milo on the floor. She settled beside them, her heart swelling with pride as she observed the bond between her daughter and the puppy. Milo was sprawled across Lila's lap, his soft breathing a soothing rhythm that echoed the beating of Lila's heart. The two of them were lost in a world of their own, shared laughter punctuating the air as Lila teased Milo with a crinkly toy. "Do you think he knows how special he is?" Jessica asked softly, her voice barely above a whisper. Lila turned to her mother, her eyes sparkling with joy. "I think he does, Mom. He knows when I'm happy, and he knows when I'm sad. It's like he can feel everything I'm feeling." Jessica smiled, feeling a tightening in her chest as she listened to her daughter. Lila's words were infused with a wisdom that belied her young age. In that moment, the barriers that had formed between them since the accident began to dissolve. They shared stories and laughter, the sound of their voices weaving a warm tapestry of love that enveloped the room. Milo, as if sensing the shift in energy, rolled onto his back, inviting belly rubs with an exaggerated display of trust. Lila's laughter rang out once more as she obliged, her fingers sinking into his soft fur. As the weeks flowed into months, Lila's progress became increasingly noticeable. The physical therapist, Ms. Palmer, was astounded by the changes she observed during their sessions. Lila had begun to engage more actively, her determination palpable. Each small movement was no longer just an exercise. It was a milestone, a celebration of her spirit's resurgence. Milo accompanied Lila during therapy sessions, his presence providing an emotional anchor that allowed her to push through the discomfort and frustration that came with rehabilitation. One sunny afternoon, As they sat together in the therapy room, Lila took a deep breath and focused on her task, moving her fingers to grasp a small ball. Miss Palmer encouraged her, her voice steady and supportive. "Just a little more, Lila. I know you can do it." Lila's gaze flickered to Milo, who sat beside her, his big brown eyes fixed intently on her hand. It was as if he understood that this moment held significance beyond their usual games. With a surge of determination, Lila willed her fingers to curl around the ball. It felt like an eternity, but then there it was. The soft pressure of the ball in her hand sent a rush of exhilaration through her. "I did it!" Lila exclaimed, the thrill of accomplishment bubbling over as she turned to Milo. "Did you see that, Milo? I really did it!" Milo barked joyously, his tail wagging furiously as if he understood the magnitude of her achievement. He leaped into her lap, showering her with puppy kisses, and Lila couldn't help but giggle, her heart swelling with pride. Miss Palmer clapped her hands, her face glowing with delight. "That was fantastic, Lila! You're making incredible progress." That day marked a turning point for Lila. The small victory she had once taken for granted now felt monumental, and she began to believe in her own strength. With Milo by her side, she embraced the challenges that lay ahead, no longer viewing her limitations as insurmountable walls, but rather as hurdles to jump over. As word of Lila's progress spread, it attracted attention from the local community. Friends and family rallied around her, organizing events to raise awareness about the therapeutic benefits of animal companionship in rehabilitation. They shared Lila's story on social media, and soon, it captured the attention of local news outlets eager to highlight the inspiring journey of a young girl and her puppy. One Saturday afternoon, as the sun bathed the neighborhood in a golden glow, a small crowd gathered at the park where Lila and Milo often played. Local reporters mingled with friends, family, and curious onlookers, all eager to witness the magic of their bond in person. Lila sat in her wheelchair, the familiar weight of Milo resting on her lap, his warm presence grounding her amidst the excitement. "Are you ready?" Jessica whispered, her eyes sparkling with pride. Lila nodded, her heart racing as she prepared to share her story. She had come to understand that her journey was not just about personal healing. It was about raising awareness for others who faced similar challenges. She wanted to show the world that hope could be found in unexpected places, and sometimes it came in the form of a floppy-eared puppy. When the time came for Lila to speak, she took a deep breath, her fingers gently brushing Milo's fur for comfort. "Thank you all for being here," she began, her voice steady despite the flutter of nerves in her stomach. "When I got hurt, I thought my life was over. I felt lost and alone. But then Milo came into my life, and he showed me that I could still find joy and strength, even in the hardest times." As Lila spoke, the crowd leaned in, captivated by her words. She shared her struggles, her fears, and the small victories that had become her lifeline. With each sentence, she painted a vivid picture of the transformation she had undergone, the healing that had blossomed in her heart and body. Milo, sensing her emotions, nuzzled against her, providing a gentle reminder of the bond that had brought her back to life. The applause that erupted at the end of her speech echoed through the park, a wave of support that enveloped Lila and Milo. It was a moment of connection, one that transcended words and spoke to the universal desire for hope and healing. And as Lila looked around at the faces filled with admiration, she felt a warmth spread through her, a sense of belonging that had been absent for so long. In the weeks that followed, Lila and Milo became local celebrities. Their story inspired not just those in their community, but also families across the country who were grappling with similar challenges. Rehabilitation centers began to reach out, inviting Lila to share her journey and the impact of animal companionship on recovery. Milo was hailed as a hero, a symbol of resilience that sparked hope in the hearts of many. With each new opportunity, Lila embraced her role as an advocate. She began collaborating with therapists and animal trainers, sharing insights about the profound bond between humans and their pets. Together, they organized workshops, educating families about the benefits of including animals in therapy, emphasizing the unconditional love and support they provide. As Lila continued to grow stronger, her confidence blossomed alongside her physical abilities. She began to explore the world outside her home. Her adventurous spirit reignited with a passion that mirrored her childhood. Parks, nature trails, and community events became a canvas for her newfound freedom, and with Milo trotting happily beside her, she rediscovered the joy of exploration. One crisp autumn day, Lila and Milo ventured to a nearby park for a community fair. The air was filled with laughter, the scent of caramel apples wafting through the crowd. Children ran past, their voices a symphony of joy, and Lila felt a surge of excitement bubble within her. She couldn't wait to participate in the activities, to immerse herself in the vibrant atmosphere that had once felt so distant. As they wandered through the fair, Lila was drawn to a booth offering a variety of games. With Milo by her side, she approached a ring toss, her heart racing at the thought of joining in. The game attendant smiled encouragingly, and Lila took a deep breath, willing her fingers to work their magic once more. Gripping the rings tightly, she focused intently, her determination radiating from her. With a flick of her wrist, Lila tossed the first ring. It landed awkwardly, missing the target entirely. But instead of feeling defeated, she found herself laughing. Milo barked in response, as if cheering her on. "Okay, let's try again," she declared, her spirits buoyed by the puppy's enthusiasm. The crowd began to take notice, and soon, a small group gathered to watch. With each attempt, Lila's confidence grew, and her laughter became contagious. Milo danced around her feet, his tail wagging, urging her to keep trying. Finally, with one last focused effort, Lila tossed the ring, and it landed perfectly around the peg. Cheers erupted from the crowd, and Lila's heart soared. In that moment, she felt invincible, the weight of her past slipping away as new memories formed. Milo leaped into her lap, showering her with affectionate licks, and Lila's laughter echoed through the fair, a sound that resonated with joy and resilience. The fair was not just a day of fun. It became a celebration of how far Lila had come. Surrounded by the warmth of her community, she felt a sense of belonging that had once seemed unattainable. As the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the park, Lila knew that this was only the beginning of a new chapter, one filled with hope, adventure, and the unwavering love of her loyal companion, Milo. As the seasons transitioned from the vibrant hues of autumn to the chilly embrace of winter, Lila's journey continued to evolve in ways that she had never anticipated. The world outside her window transformed into a sparkling wonderland, the snow blanketing the earth in a soft, white silence that somehow felt like a fresh start. With each passing day, Lila grew stronger, her spirit rekindled by the unwavering companionship of Milo, who thrived in the winter landscape as much as she did. One frosty morning, Lila's father, Stephen, decided it was time for a new adventure. "What do you think about taking Milo to the dog park today?" he asked, a sparkle of mischief in his eyes. Lila's heart raced at the thought. The dog park had always been a favorite spot for her and her friends, a place filled with laughter and playful chaos. But it had been months since she had visited, and the idea of returning filled her with a mix of excitement and apprehension. "Yes, let's go," Lila exclaimed, her voice bubbling with enthusiasm. She could already envision the joyful chaos that awaited them, dogs bounding around, their tails wagging in wild abandon, and the laughter of children echoing through the air. With Milo by her side, the prospect of joining in on the fun felt within reach. As they arrived at the park, Lila's breath caught in her throat. The landscape was transformed into a winter wonderland, trees draped in delicate icicles, and the ground carpeted in freshly fallen snow. Lila could hardly contain her excitement as she wheeled herself closer to the entrance, Milo jumping eagerly at her side. The moment they stepped into the park, Milo dashed forward, his playful energy contagious. He bounded through the snow, leaving a flurry of paw prints in his wake, and Lila couldn't help but laugh at his antics. "Go on, Milo," she cheered, her laughter ringing out amidst the joyful barks of other dogs. As she watched him play, Lila felt a surge of happiness welling up inside her. It was as if the weight of her past burdens was momentarily lifted, replaced by the sheer joy of living in the moment. Stephen settled beside her on a nearby bench, his eyes filled with warmth as he observed the bond between Lila and Milo. "You've come so far, Lila," he said, his voice filled with pride. "Just look at you. I can't remember the last time I saw you this happy." Lila beamed at her father, his words resonating deeply within her. "It's all thanks to Milo," she replied, her gaze returning to the puppy, who was now engaged in a spirited game of chase with a pair of golden retrievers. "He makes everything feel possible." As the day unfolded, Lila's confidence continued to blossom. She watched as other children played in the snow, building snowmen and engaging in friendly snowball fights, their laughter echoing throughout the park. It sparked a longing within her, a desire to join in on the fun. With a newfound determination, she turned to her father. "Dad, can we build a snowman?" Stephen's eyes sparkled at the idea. "Absolutely. Let's do it." He helped Lila position her wheelchair for easier access, and together they began to gather snow, shaping it into the familiar mounds that would form the body of their snowman. Milo joined in, excitedly bounding around them, his tail wagging as he nudged Lila with his nose, urging her to laugh and play. With each handful of snow, Lila felt a sense of freedom that she hadn't experienced in a long time. She focused intently on the task at hand, shaping the snow into a sturdy base, her fingers moving with purpose. As they added the finishing touches, a carrot for the nose, pebbles for the eyes, and a scarf that Stephen had brought along, Lila felt a wave of accomplishment wash over her. "Look, Dad, we did it!" Lila exclaimed, her eyes gleaming with pride as she admired their creation. The snowman stood tall, a testament to their teamwork and creativity. Milo, sensing the celebration, circled around them, barking joyfully as if he too recognized the significance of the moment. Just then, a group of children approached, their eyes wide with curiosity as they spotted Lila's snowman. "Wow, can we help you decorate it?" one of them asked, a girl with pigtails and rosy cheeks. "Of course," Lila replied, her heart swelling with excitement. The children eagerly joined in, adding their own creative flair to the snowman. Lila directed their efforts, her laughter mingling with theirs as they transformed the snowman into something truly unique. In that moment, the barriers that had once held her back began to fade, replaced by the warmth of friendship and connection. As the afternoon wore on, Lila found herself immersed in the joy of the moment. The laughter of children, the playful barks of dogs, and the beauty of the winter landscape enveloped her, creating a tapestry of happiness that she had longed for. Milo, ever the playful companion, darted between the kids, inviting them to join in his games, his infectious energy spreading like wildfire. When it was time to leave, Lila felt a bittersweet sting in her heart. The day had been a celebration of her resilience, a reminder of the joy that life could bring when she opened herself to possibility. As they made their way back home, Stephen glanced at Lila, his expression filled with pride and admiration. "You know, Lila," he began, his voice thoughtful, "I think today was a turning point for you. It's not just about the snowman or Milo. It's about embracing every moment, no matter how small. You're learning to live again." Lila nodded, his words resonating deeply. "I feel like I'm starting to find my way back," she admitted, a smile breaking across her face. "Milo has shown me that I can still have adventures, even if they look different than before." As they settled back into their cozy home, Lila reflected on the day's events. She knew that her journey was far from over, but the joy and connection she had experienced at the park ignited a fire within her. With Milo beside her, she felt ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. In the following weeks, Lila continued to flourish, her experiences at the dog park serving as a catalyst for her growth. She began to actively participate in more activities, both at home and within her community. With each new adventure, she found herself shedding the layers of doubt and fear that had once held her captive. Lila's laughter became more frequent, her spirit more resilient, as she navigated the complexities of life with Milo by her side. The impact of their bond resonated beyond their family. Inspired by Lila's journey, Stephen started a local support group for families facing similar challenges. He wanted to create a space where others could share their stories, find encouragement, and learn about the healing power of animal companionship. The first meeting took place at their home, and soon it grew into a vibrant community network, bringing together families who found solace in each other's experiences. Lila, always eager to contribute, offered to share her story. The first time she spoke in front of the group, she felt a mix of nerves and excitement. But as she began to recount her journey with Milo, she saw the faces of her audience light up with understanding and hope. It was empowering to see how her experiences resonated with others, and she realized that her story was not just her own. It had the potential to inspire and uplift those around her. "Having Milo in my life has changed everything," Lila shared, her voice steady as she spoke. "He taught me that even in the darkest times, there is still light. He reminds me to embrace each moment and to keep moving forward, no matter how small the steps might be." The room was filled with applause and supportive nods, and Lila felt a sense of belonging that warmed her heart. Through her vulnerability and authenticity, she discovered a newfound purpose, one that would guide her as she continued to navigate her journey. As winter melted into spring, the days grew warmer, and Lila found herself filled with anticipation for what lay ahead. The world was awakening from its slumber, and so was she. With Milo by her side, she ventured into the blooming landscape, exploring nature trails and parks that had once felt out of reach. Their adventures became more than just outings. They were opportunities for Lila to reclaim her independence and re-establish her connection with the world. One sunny afternoon, as they trekked through a local park, Lila stumbled upon a small group of children playing soccer. The energy was vibrant, the laughter infectious, and Lila felt a familiar longing tug at her heart. Watching them play sparked a desire to join in, to be part of that joyful chaos once again. "Dad, can we play soccer with them?" Lila asked, her eyes wide with hope. Stephen glanced at the group and then back at Lila, a smile spreading across his face. "Why not? Let's see if they'd like to include us." With Milo leading the charge, they approached the children, who welcomed them with open arms. Lila took a deep breath, her heart racing with excitement and nervousness as she settled into the game. With Stephen's help, she found a comfortable spot on the sidelines, cheering for Milo as he darted around, chasing after the soccer ball with wild abandon. The joy of the moment enveloped her, and she realized that being part of the game didn't require her to physically participate in every play. Instead, she could contribute in her own unique way, rooting for Milo and supporting the other kids. As they played, it was a revelation that filled her with warmth and a sense of belonging she had long yearned for. Lila cheered as Milo chased after the ball, barking excitedly, his fur glistening in the sunlight. The children giggled at Milo's antics, and Lila felt a sense of camaraderie blooming among them. "Go, Milo! Get it!" Lila shouted, her voice ringing with excitement. Each bark from the puppy seemed to carry her encouragement, and she reveled in the simple joy of the moment. The other kids began to notice her enthusiasm, and soon, a few of them approached her, curious about the girl in the wheelchair who cheered for the dog like a sports commentator. "Hey, can we pet him?" asked a boy with sandy blonde hair and a bright smile. "Of course. He loves attention," Lila replied, her heart swelling with pride as Milo trotted over, tail wagging furiously. The children gathered around him, their laughter mingling with the soft rustle of the trees in the gentle breeze. Lila watched, a smile spreading across her face as Milo soaked in the affection, his big brown eyes gleaming with happiness. As the game continued, Lila found herself immersed in the experience, laughing and chatting with the kids. They shared stories about their favorite games and the adventures they hoped to have in the summer, and Lila felt like she was finally part of something again. The boundaries of her wheelchair faded into the background, and the joy of being among friends filled her heart. "I can't wait for the summer," a girl with curly hair exclaimed. "We should have a soccer tournament at the park. That would be awesome," Lila added, her voice brimming with excitement. "We could form teams and play every weekend." The children nodded enthusiastically, their imaginations igniting at the prospect of a summer filled with fun and friendship. Lila's heart soared at the thought. It felt like she was reclaiming a piece of her childhood, a world where laughter and play reigned supreme. As the sun began to dip lower in the sky, casting long shadows across the park, Lila's father joined them on the sidelines. He had been watching the interactions with a proud smile, his heart swelling at the sight of his daughter, so engaged and joyful. "Looks like you've made some new friends, Lila," he said, his voice warm and inviting. "Dad, we're going to have a soccer tournament this summer." Lila beamed, her excitement contagious. "It's going to be amazing." Stephen chuckled, shaking his head in disbelief. "That sounds like a fantastic idea. Count me in as the coach." With her father's playful support, Lila felt empowered. The prospect of a tournament gave her a purpose, a reason to look forward to the warmer months. As the evening wore on, the children began to disperse, their laughter lingering in the air like a sweet melody. "Can we all meet here next Saturday?" Lila called out, her voice carrying a hopeful tone. "Definitely," one of the boys replied, tossing a wave over his shoulder. "We'll bring snacks." As they said their goodbyes, Lila felt a warmth in her chest that was unfamiliar yet welcomed. She had always been a part of a close-knit community, but the accident had left her feeling isolated, as if she were watching life unfold from a distance. Now, for the first time, she felt like she was stepping back into her life, ready to embrace the joys that awaited her. The following week, Lila eagerly prepared for the next gathering at the park, her heart racing with anticipation. She and Milo arrived early, the sun shining brightly overhead. As she wheeled herself to the designated meeting spot, she noticed that the atmosphere was already buzzing with excitement. Children were running around, some already kicking the soccer ball back and forth while others set up a picnic blanket laden with snacks. "Milo!" Lila called, her voice filled with delight as the puppy bounded over to her. He nuzzled against her, his warm presence grounding her amid the joyful chaos. "Are you ready for another adventure?" As the day unfolded, the kids organized themselves into teams, and Lila found her role as the enthusiastic cheerleader. She directed the plays from her spot on the sidelines, her laughter ringing through the air as she encouraged her friends. The camaraderie and spirit of teamwork enveloped her like a warm hug, and she felt alive in a way she hadn't in years. "Go Team Blue!" Lila shouted, her voice carrying across the field as Milo barked in agreement, his tail wagging madly. The children's shouts of encouragement mixed with the playful barks of the puppy, creating a symphony of joy that echoed throughout the park. As the tournament progressed, Lila reveled in her role. She joined in on the fun, offering high fives and playful banter, and even took a turn kicking the ball with the kids. Each time she managed to hit it, no matter how small, it felt like a victory. The laughter and excitement filled her heart, and she relished the sense of belonging that enveloped her. In the midst of the game, Milo remained a constant presence, weaving in and out of the action, always ready for a game of fetch or a belly rub. Lila couldn't help but smile at the sight of him playing alongside the children, his playful spirit igniting theirs. They had formed a bond that transcended words, and with each passing day, Lila felt her world expanding, filled with new friendships and shared experiences. As the tournament came to a close, the sun began to set, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink. The children gathered around Lila, eager to celebrate their teamwork. "This was the best day ever," one girl exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with joy. Lila beamed at her friends, her heart swelling with gratitude. "Thank you all for including me. I had so much fun." As they shared stories of their favorite moments from the day, Lila felt a sense of fulfillment wash over her. The accident had changed her life in ways she could never have anticipated. But now, with Milo by her side and friends who accepted her just as she was, she felt empowered to embrace this new chapter. As the evening wrapped up, Lila's father approached, a proud smile on his face. "You really shine today, Lila. I can see how much this means to you." "Thanks, Dad. I can't wait for our next tournament," she replied, her eyes sparkling with excitement. The following weeks were filled with laughter, games, and the blossoming friendships that had formed over shared experiences. Lila began to take on more responsibility, helping to organize the next gathering and even leading some of the younger kids in warm-up exercises. Each new experience filled her with a sense of purpose and belonging that she had longed for. As summer approached, the community began to take notice of Lila's transformation. Her story resonated with families, and soon, there were discussions about how to bring more awareness to the healing power of companionship in rehabilitation. Lila's parents, inspired by their daughter's journey, began collaborating with local therapists and animal trainers to organize workshops and events that would highlight the bond between children and animals. One sunny Saturday, Lila found herself standing in front of a small crowd at the community center, ready to share her story. Her nerves fluttered in her stomach, but the familiar warmth of Milo by her side steadied her. "Hi everyone, my name is Lila, and this is Milo," she began, her voice resonating with sincerity. "I want to tell you how much he has changed my life." As she spoke about her journey, the challenges she had faced, and the incredible bond she shared with Milo, she saw the faces in the crowd light up with understanding and hope. She shared how their connection had sparked her resilience, igniting a fire within her that had long been dormant. Her words poured forth, painting a vivid picture of the joy and strength she had rediscovered. By the end of her speech, the audience erupted into applause, and Lila felt a rush of gratitude wash over her. She had not only shared her story, but had also inspired others to see the potential for healing through companionship. The event became a catalyst for change, igniting discussions about the importance of animal therapy and rehabilitation and bringing awareness to the incredible impact pets could have on individuals facing challenges. With each passing day, Lila's confidence continued to grow. She embraced new opportunities, participating in community events, and even volunteering at the local animal shelter. Milo was by her side through it all, his unwavering support a reminder that she was never alone. Their bond deepened, and with each adventure, Lila felt herself becoming stronger, more resilient. As summer blossomed into full swing, Lila found herself filled with anticipation for the upcoming community fair. The event promised to be a celebration of the connections forged over the past months, showcasing the power of friendship and the healing potential of animals. Lila and her friends began planning activities, determined to make the fair a memorable occasion for everyone. On the day of the fair, Lila arrived early, her heart racing with excitement. The park was transformed into a vibrant hub of laughter and joy, with colorful booths, games, and activities set up for families to enjoy. Lila and Milo took center stage as the unofficial mascots of the event, their bond a testament to the power of love and resilience. As families gathered around, Lila shared her story, her voice filled with passion and determination. "I want you all to know that no matter what challenges you face, there is always hope. With the right support, anything is possible." Her words resonated deeply with the crowd, sparking conversations about the transformative power of companionship. Lila could sense the energy shifting as families began to share their own stories, creating a tapestry of resilience and support woven together by their shared experiences. Encouraged by the excitement around her, Lila organized a series of activities that highlighted the bond between children and their pets. There were obstacle courses for dogs, relay races that included both humans and their furry friends, and even a best trick contest that showcased Milo's impressive skills. As laughter and cheers filled the air, Lila felt a sense of belonging that wrapped around her like a warm blanket. The day culminated in a heartfelt moment when Lila invited all the children to join her in a group photo with their pets. She positioned herself in the center, Milo perched proudly in her lap, surrounded by a sea of smiling faces and wagging tails. The image captured not just the joy of the day, but also the spirit of connection that had blossomed in their community. As the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the park, Lila stood on a small stage set up for the event. With Milo beside her, she thanked everyone for their participation and support. "Today has shown me that we are all stronger together. No matter our challenges, we can lift each other up and find joy in our journey," she said, her voice steady and filled with emotion. The applause that followed was thunderous, a testament to the impact she had made. In the months that followed, Lila's story continued to resonate within the community. Inspired by her journey, schools began to incorporate lessons on empathy and kindness, emphasizing the importance of supporting one another through difficult times. Workshops on animal therapy gained traction, and families began to explore the idea of adopting pets as companions for their children facing challenges. As the seasons changed once again, Lila found herself reflecting on the growth she had experienced. With each passing day, she had learned to embrace the beauty of life, even amidst its unpredictability. Milo had been her steadfast companion, a source of joy and strength that had guided her through the darkest of days. Together, they had forged a path filled with adventure, laughter, and an unbreakable bond. On a particularly crisp autumn afternoon, Lyla and Milo ventured to their favorite park. The leaves crunched beneath her wheels as she rolled along the path, the vibrant colors painting the landscape in hues of red and gold. She felt a sense of gratitude wash over her, a deep appreciation for the journey that had brought her here. As they reached a clearing, Lila paused to take in the view. The sun was beginning to set, casting a warm glow over the park, and she could see families enjoying the outdoors, children laughing, and dogs playing. It was a scene that filled her heart with joy, a reminder of how far she had come. Milo, sensing her reflective mood, nuzzled against her arm, his big brown eyes filled with love and understanding. "You've been my hero, you know," Lila whispered, her voice barely above a murmur. "I wouldn't be here without you." As if in response, Milo leaned in closer, resting his head against her shoulder. In that moment, Lila felt an overwhelming sense of peace. The connection they shared was profound, a testament to the healing power of love and companionship. She knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, she would face them with courage, supported by her loyal friend. With newfound determination, Lila wheeled herself toward the playground area. She spotted a group of children gathered around, trying to coax a shy puppy out from behind a bench. Their laughter was playful, but there was a hint of frustration in their voices. Without a second thought, Lila approached them, her heart warmed by the familiar scene. "Hey there," she called out, her voice cheerful. "Do you need help with that little guy?" The children turned to her, their faces lighting up with excitement. "Yes, he's so scared," a girl with pigtails exclaimed. Lila smiled, the tug of empathy pulling at her heartstrings. "I think I know just what to do." She gently positioned herself closer, allowing Milo to take the lead. "Milo, show them how it's done." With a wagging tail and playful demeanor, Milo approached the shy puppy, his movements slow and inviting. The little pup hesitated, but soon realized that Milo meant no harm. With Lila's patient encouragement and Milo's friendly nudges, the frightened puppy began to emerge from its hiding spot. In a matter of moments, the atmosphere transformed from one of uncertainty to joyous laughter. The children clapped and cheered as the puppy finally ventured out, drawn in by the warmth of Milo's spirit. Lila watched, her heart swelling with pride and happiness. She had been able to give back, to share the joy that Milo had brought into her life. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting long shadows across the playground, Lila felt a renewed sense of purpose. She realized that her journey was not just about her healing, but about uplifting others as well. With Milo by her side, she could help others discover the magic of companionship, the same magic that had transformed her life. In the months that followed, Lila became a beacon of hope in her community. She volunteered at local shelters, sharing her story and advocating for the adoption of pets as companions. Inspired by her experiences, more families began to consider bringing animals into their homes, recognizing the profound impact they could have on emotional healing and resilience. Lila's journey had come full circle. As she wheeled through the park, her heart brimming with gratitude, she knew that the love she had for Milo and the love he had given her had the power to change lives. Together, they became advocates for companionship, sharing their story to inspire others to find joy in even the simplest of moments. And so, as the seasons continued to change, Lila embraced each new adventure with an open heart, knowing that life was a beautiful tapestry woven together with love, hope, and the unwavering bond between a girl and her puppy.